In November 2020, during campaigns, there were riots in Kampala city and other parts of the country after the arrest of new presidential candidate Robert Kyagulanyi. As a result, 54 people were shot dead, and the president promised the country that investigations into the killings had commenced. More than 2 months later, the investigations have not been concluded, but many people are still demanding answers. Besides this, there have been kidnaps of opposition supporters. Government has also suspended the operations of civil society organizations like the Democratic Governance Facility, which has been funding operations of many non-government organizations.
Thank you.
On Thursday, the European Union Parliament adopted 19 resolutions hinged on the human rights violations in Uganda. The EU Parliament wants sanctions imposed on those responsible for human rights violations. This comes days after the UK threatened to cut aid to the police and military, with threats of more aid cuts to other sectors. According to Chris Badiomunsi, the State Minister of Housing, some foreign commentators do not have a clear picture of what is on the ground in Uganda.
Most of those parliamentarians debate from a point of little knowledge and little information, because they don't live here, they don't know what goes on here. Of course, sometimes they just depend on what is in the media and maybe what their diplomats report there. But it is not correct for them to sit in their parliaments and start dictating and determining what should happen in Uganda. Because for us who live here in Uganda know the situation here much better.
People were shot at, and everybody has been waiting for government to take action against the perpetrators. So, and that's why everybody is wondering, you went silent after the president announced that action was going to be taken against some officers who were trigger happy on that day.
Yes, the government is investigating with a view of finding out if there are any officers who breached the law, and definitely they will be disciplined. But also we must appreciate there was criminality, because we saw also on many footages where criminals were carrying hammers going to hit at security officers.
According to a Makerere University economics don Dr. Fred Muhumuza, this will have a detrimental impact on Uganda's economy.
We are really at a situation where we are having to rely a lot on non-domestic revenue resources, because all our domestic resources are just about 20 trillion out of a budget of 45 to 48 trillion. Now that means any money coming from out there, whether it is domestic borrowing, it also part of it comes from out. The loans and grants that these countries are giving us are very, very critical in keeping the services moving. So any cut in this, depending on which area where they cut and how much they cut, is likely to have significant implications on the economy. And the other part is, if the UK cuts in areas that actually support other activities, then that means even those activities will be affected, even if their budgets have not been cut.
But can Uganda weather the storm if the sanctions and aid cuts are effected, as the government struggles to finance its 2020-2021 budget?
I don't think Uganda's progress is largely because of UK's aid or aid from European Union. Yes, while we appreciate the partnership that we have enjoyed over time, well, if they want to withdraw aid, I am sure Uganda will not die simply because aid has been withdrawn. But also they needed to appreciate that they are here at our invitation. Having a partnership with any agency doesn't mean they should throw everything on our throat and we accept it.
I think that's the easier part to say. Uganda will still stay, and because Uganda was there. But why did they come in? It's because we are not in the state that we should be.
We sought the opinion of other experts on what political impact sanctions can have on the country.
What it means is that the country would lose international respect politically, and that is very, very, very important as a country. If international we are not respected, then it means that we cannot claim our rightful place among nations in the world.
Dr. Gnura, a Makerere University don, also argues that sanctions give opposition an opportunity to delegitimize the regime headed by President Museveni, who won the election with 58%.
The opposition would take advantage of that to tell Ugandans that you are having in place a government which is even rejected by the international community. So still on the ground, internally, it would not augur well.
According to Dr. Chris Padiomusi, government will respond to EU and UK after getting a formal communication from them. For now, Ugandans are waiting to see how and when these delicate diplomatic woes will be resolved and what their implications will be. Sudil Biarhanga, NTV.